Those temperatures are rising, and with it, your cravings for ice cream. Who doesn't want a bowl of ice cream on a hot summer day? But if you're living with MS and following the Wahls Protocol, the idea of indulging in ice cream might feel completely off limits. That's why I am always looking for ways to make this protocol more doable. Today, I am sharing 7 dairy-free alternatives to ice cream that are delicious and won't derail your health. You're going to want to tune in for today's scoop. And my friend, if you want a more personalized approach to creating your MS diet and lifestyle, check out my private coaching program. It includes a comprehensive assessment, personalized strategies, and lifestyle support. Each month, I accept only 3 new clients. So if you are interested, apply at alenebrennan.com/coach. Now on to today's episode. There are 1 million people diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the US. So that makes you 1 in a million. And you have a special purpose in this world that no diagnosis can take away from you. So if you are ready to reclaim your body, mind, and life from multiple sclerosis, welcome to my MS podcast. I'm your host, Alene Brennan. Hey, my friend. So let me ask you, did you expect to receive an episode about ice cream from a nutrition coach who's certified in the Wahls Protocol? Listen, if you thought that the day you started the Wahls Protocol, all the fun was sucked out of your opportunity to be a foodie or just enjoy any kind of food again, let me share some good news with you. You may not have the freedom to eat whatever you want, but you can certainly expand your options with just a little creativity. And that's what I'm sharing with you today, because as you know, season 5 is all about summertime. And I don't know about your book, but in mine, summer often goes hand in hand with some ice cream. So I want to find ways for us to have that experience without derailing our health. Because living with MS and following the Wahls Protocol can sometimes feel like you are walking a tightrope. You want to enjoy the simple pleasures in life, like a bowl of ice cream on a hot summer day. I was a kid that growing up, I always loved the vanilla ice cream with the rainbow sprinkles. Yes, I say sprinkles, although sometimes I will say Jimmy's. I don't know. It's such a regional thing in terms of whether you say sprinkles or Jimmy's. Nonetheless, my scoop was vanilla with all of the rainbow sprinkles or Jimmy's on top. I love the soft serve especially. And then what was that other ice cream store that came out? Was it Cold Stone Creamery? I can't remember the name of it, but it was the one where you could go and pick your flavor of ice cream and the toppings. And then they had like the frozen countertops and they would blend your ice cream right there. Oh, that was heaven. Oh my goodness. So delicious. So delicious. So yeah, I have so many memories growing up of getting ice cream on the Ocean City Boardwalk or making some ice cream sundaes at home. Like there were those special moments that I really enjoyed. And then when I got diagnosed with MS and I started the Wahls Protocol and I eliminated dairy, I'm like, guess ice cream's out the window. Thankfully, there are so many dairy-free options now. That's why I wanted to bring them to your attention on this episode, because I think it's easy to tell ourselves this lie that, okay, I can't have dairy, so therefore I can't have the ice cream experience. And while it's true, like we know that dairy can be inflammatory, Dr. Wahls tells us that dairy can be one of the most inflammatory foods to our body. So she recommends that is one of the first foods that we eliminate when starting on the Wahls Protocol. And I was never a big dairy person myself. I mean, I shared that obviously I had ice cream as a kid growing up, and I would have some like cereal here and there. I was never a milk drinker, and I can't drink coffee just because of the caffeine. Even the decaf doesn't work for me. So I never put like cream in a drink like that. And cheese, I would definitely have on like pizza or something, but I would never add it on like a cheeseburger or a cheese steak. I would just get them plain, which I know irritates a lot of people because they're like, that's not fair. I'm such a cheese lover and I miss it. And I will keep it all the way real with you. The dairy-free cheese alternative alternatives. They're just not the same. My personal favorite is Daya. I think that they do a really good job of having the right texture and consistency, but they have changed their formula or the recipe so many times. It's really frustrating. I loved their original one, and then they switched it over to have chickpeas, and then they switched it most recently to have, I think it's oat milk or something in there. I don't know. They keep changing it. And the price keeps going up. So the more that happens, the less and less I'm having. But anyway, I digress. Again, when we start on the Wahls Protocol, our tendency is to feel like we can't have any dairy. And that's not true. Well, it's true in the sense that you do want to eliminate dairy, but there are lots of dairy alternatives. And specifically today, in the context of summertime, I want to highlight ice cream because it does make a difference when you can participate in those experiences. I have a 2-year-old right now, and she's not eating ice cream yet, but when she does, I want to be able to have something along with her. Truth be told, I'll probably be giving her the healthier option, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. But as you know, this is something that I talk a lot about. Yes, we want to follow the Wahls Protocol because it's worth it. It gets results. And we also want to live life. We want to have some freedom and flexibility so that we can enjoy life and not feel like we're walking this tightrope of these rigid rules that prevent us from enjoying any kind of food. So I want to help enjoy the simple pleasure of a bowl of ice cream. And again, I'm not suggesting that we have the dairy-based one, but I want to share with you some legitimately delicious dairy-free options that will not compromise your health. So let's dive in. I'm going to give you the top 7 dairy-free alternatives to ice cream. The first is coconut milk ice cream. This was my first option when I was looking at dairy-free ice cream. And the nice thing about it is that coconut milk is naturally creamy. So it serves as a phenomenal base for ice cream because you want that creamy consistency, and coconut milk naturally offers that. Now, you can make it yourself. I do have one of those ice cream makers. I got one a number of years ago, and I've made it a couple times. It's not hard to make, but it's just a multi-stepped process that ends up taking a decent amount of time. And it also takes up a lot of space in your freezer. So if you want to do something like that, go for it. I know one year I did it actually around Christmas time. I got some candy canes I think I got them at like Whole Foods or something. They were like this much natural version of a candy cane that you can get. And I crushed them up, and then I sprinkled them throughout a vanilla coconut milk based ice cream. And I kind of had like a candy cane peppermint ice cream that I made for us. And it was delicious, and everybody loved it. Even the people who can eat normal dairy ice cream, they were loving it as well. But again, it's time consuming, and it takes up a lot of space in your freezer. The easiest option is just to buy a pint at the grocery store. I typically buy the So Delicious brand, which ingredient wise, it's not perfect, but it is dairy-free, and it is, in fact, so delicious. So that's a good option for you. And you'll notice that they have, I think it's like on the lid of the pint container, that they will say the milk that is used for it. So it'll say coconut milk. They also have cashew milk, almond milk. So if you don't like coconut milk or you have an allergy to it, you can always explore one of those options. Again, almond milk or cashew milk. I'm not a huge fan of the oat milk options just because the grains tend to be sprayed with more chemicals. But that is another dairy-free option if that was something that you wanted to try. But basically getting a non-dairy milk base ice cream. And again, it's something that you can make at home, or you can just buy from the grocery store. Just whenever you're picking one up, look at the back, check the ingredients. You ideally don't want to see anything that has carrageenan or carrageenan. I never know how it's exactly pronounced, but it's a big long C word. That is a known carcinogen. If anything that you are eating has that ingredient in it, toss it. It's not worth it. So check that, because it is an emulsifier in a lot of non-dairy based products, or dairy-free alternatives, I should say. But nonetheless, the So Delicious coconut milk ice cream is top of my list. Another option is Nice Cream. So this is one that I love, not only because it's good, but it is super cheap. Some of those dairy-free pint ice creams, they can get pricey. They can get really pricey. This option here will literally cost you like $1. You basically just peel bananas, freeze them, and then once they're frozen, you blend them in a high-speed blender. And you don't have to add anything extra to it. You can just keep it plain and simple, and it's straight bananas. It is literally one ingredient. You can't get any cleaner than that. I have at times added some like frozen raspberries in there, which kind of certainly changes the color, but it also changes the flavor to it. But again, like I said, most times I just stick with the plain banana. And if you wanted to get fancy with it, you could add some toppings like shredded coconut, sliced almonds, or some like non-dairy chocolate shavings if you wanted. But this one is, again, so cheap. What are bananas? I feel like they're like 19 cents or like 29 cents if you're going to buy the organic ones, which don't worry about the organic, just get the conventional ones. But bring them home, let them ripen, and then peel them, put them in the freezer, and then blend them up. I also love the fact that this is something that you can do like totally impromptu. I mean, obviously you have to have the bananas frozen ahead of time. So I tend to like to have some of them always available in the freezer, but it's cheap, it's simple, it's quick, it's delicious. So that's referred to as nice cream. So that's a nice, cheaper alternative. And that's actually one that I do give my daughter. We'll certainly make it at home, but there's also a stand, on the Ocean City Boardwalk. Can you tell I love the boardwalk down in Ocean City? It's a shore town not too far from us, and I grew up going down there, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But on there, they have a store, Bashful Bananas, and they serve the banana whip there. You will find some other places have, I think it's Dole Banana Whip. I can't remember exactly what's in it, but I feel like there were several ingredients in there. So you just want to ask, if you are getting it somewhere, if you can ask what the ingredients are in it. They should just say bananas, because that's the only thing that needs to be in there. I can't remember if the other one had like soy in it. I don't think it was dairy based, because that would be like too concerning for the people who are assuming that it's dairy free. And most people that do that have a dairy allergy. But I feel like there was something in it. So just if you're going to buy it out, just check for the ingredients. But just make it at home. It's cheaper, it's quick, it's easy. Another one that you could do at home that is just as kind of simple and effective with using some of the riper things that you already have in your kitchen is avocado ice cream. So this is one where you blend up some ripe avocados with some coconut milk. You can add a little sweetener if you like, because this is not going to have the same sweetness that the bananas are. Bananas just have naturally sweet components to it. And avocado does not. So you might need to add something in there, like I said, like honey or maple syrup. You could even like give a little squeeze of lime juice in there and then freeze it till it's firm. This is going to be a great option if you have some avocados that are ripe and you're not going to eat them before they go bad. So these, again, same with the bananas. When things are starting to ripen and you need to use them before they go bad, have a dairy-free alternative for ice cream out of them. Put them in the freezer, whip them up, and enjoy a little treat there. Now with the avocado option, that's going to be nice, especially if you're on level 3 of the Wahls Protocol, where you can't do bananas. The avocado obviously is high in fat. So that's going to be more conducive if you're on level 3 of the Wahls Protocol. You just would have to omit the sweetener, like the honey or the maple syrup, whatever sweetener that you use there. And then number 4 is the chia seed pudding pops. So have you heard of chia seed pudding before, where you take some coconut milk or non-dairy milk, and then you mix it with chia seeds and put it in like a little mason jar or whatever jar you have, and you put it in the refrigerator, and then overnight those chia seeds start to kind of get a little bit more gelatinous, so it makes a little bit more of a pudding consistency. It's something that makes, like I said, like a tasty pudding, but chia seeds are also so high in fiber, which is really helpful if you need a little help going to the bathroom. They're also good with the omega-3s, which are fantastic ways to help reduce inflammation in the body. So that's the chia seed pudding. But what you can actually do is you can make that pudding and then put it in popsicle molds and then put it in the freezer. So that's where they become the pudding pops. And if you wanted to, I mean, again, you could probably put some fruit in there if you want to do some like berries, some blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. But yeah, I mean, that's another relatively inexpensive way to make some of these more natural popsicle options. And this will have more of a creamy texture to it because it has the coconut milk in there. But making them at home is drastically cheaper than what you would pay at the grocery store. I know this because number 5 is one that I do buy from the grocery store, and that is the frozen fruit bars. I pretty much always have a box of frozen fruit bars in my freezer, mainly because when I get a migraine, I often get nauseous, and if it gets really bad, it can lead to vomiting and dehydration. So if nothing else, this helps me to like maintain some fluids during a migraine so that I can help to kind of prevent, ultimately I'm trying to prevent going to the hospital for dehydration because that is very common depending upon the severity of the migraine. So yeah, I pretty much always have a box of those frozen fruit bars in my freezer. But if you are not somebody who deals with migraines or just want a brighter side to the benefits of these, they're a great summertime treat because they're quick, they're easy, and they're light. I guess the alternative might be a smoothie, but I don't always want a smoothie because sometimes a smoothie feels too heavy. This feels so much lighter, and it does give you that popsicle kind of experience. My personal favorites are strawberry or mango, just because I like those two flavors. I also really enjoy raspberry flavor, but I don't love the fruit bars with them. I'll have it if it's an option, but I really think that the strawberry and the mango are my favorite. Mango especially because that's just going to have more of a creamier consistency to it. But yeah, I typically have a box of each in the freezer at all times. And again, it's another one that I will use for my daughter if I ever feel like she is not getting enough fluids in during a time that she's sick. Like she is a phenomenal water drinker. Phenomenal. It's the only thing that she drinks. But there's been times where she's not feeling well and she's just not taking to water. So if she gets a popsicle, like that rocks her world. She normally doesn't have them. So it just helps her to stay hydrated during those times. And I mean, think of us living with MS when we're dealing with a lot of frequent trips to the bathroom. I'm not suggesting that a fruit bar is comparable to a glass of water. It doesn't count for your glass of water. But in the summertime, when we need to just boost our hydration, maybe this is a fun little way just to help you along the way. And then on a similar note, fruit sorbet. So this is similar to the fruit bars, but it gives you that scoopable experience if you kind of want more of that kind of like ice cream-like experience. My favorite flavor here is definitely lemon. And I've seen a lot of recipes for them, but I just like the convenience of getting them from a grocery store. For this, I will typically have to get it from a place like Whole Foods, like more of the natural food stores, because you go to the other grocery stores and they'll have like high fructose corn syrup and all kinds of craziness in there. But the more natural grocery stores will have cleaner options. So that's certainly a good one as well. Now, the last one, my friends, I saved the best for last. This is hands down my personal favorite alternative to ice cream, and it is an acai bowl. I literally cried the first time I had one. I wish I was joking. I'm not. It might sound a little extreme, but let me give you a little context to set the stage here. So my husband and I took a road trip one weekend to Lancaster, PA. I feel like it might have been somewhere around the pandemic, maybe before. Yeah, actually, it probably was slightly just beforehand. Nonetheless, it's about a 2-hour drive from our house, and there are lots of Amish markets around there. And we went to kind of like the main market there, and there were just rows and rows and rows and rows of food stands. It was incredible. It was so big, and I walked up and down each aisle, and with each aisle and each stand, I looked at the menu and couldn't find a single thing that I could eat. Now, I didn't have high expectations of finding something, but each menu that I had to pass by, it did sting a little. I felt like I was like a spectator sitting on the sidelines of our fun day. And I think you can all relate with that experience. Like there's certain times that you feel like you're just the spectator of a really fun event that you want to be participating with, especially when you're with your family and friends. Like you want in. Put me in, coach. I want to enjoy the game. I don't want to sit on the sidelines anymore. Well, I finally spotted this acai bowl place and I had like this slight glimmer of hope. I was like, okay, Alene, don't get your hopes up. Let's check it out. They had a line wrapped around the stand and I stood in line and I waited. And by the time it was my turn to place an order, I asked about the allergies. So the woman who was there gets out this enormous binder that has all the ingredients of everything they have in there and the allergens list listed, and she confirmed that there was no gluten, dairy, soy, nuts, or eggs. Even the granola was gluten and nut-free. I was so excited. I ordered the largest size. I'm pretty sure it was like $12 or something obnoxious like that. But the moment that spoon hit my lips, my eyes filled with tears. It was so delicious, but it wasn't even about that. It was about being able to participate in the market experience. I was able to participate in the day. And I also was hungry at that point too. So I'm sure that influenced it. But I share this with you because I think, again, that we can all relate to this in some way. Following the Wahls Protocol is hard. It's 100% worth it. But just because it's worth it doesn't mean that it's not hard and that we don't have days that we struggle with it. And some days there are really strong and very real emotions that pop up. And my friends, we want to let them come up. The last thing that you want to do is try to suppress those emotions. If you were part of my mindset workshop that I did, I think it was last year, then you may remember me saying, feelings buried alive never die. In other words, just pushing them down doesn't make them go away. It does the opposite. The emotions get stored in our body and can manifest in so many different ways. Insomnia, feeling anxious, sad, resentful. They can even affect your relationships. So give yourself permission to feel however you feel and get the tools that you need to process them in a healthy way. That can be counseling, journaling, prayer, whatever. Get the tools that you need to process them in a healthy way, because that is such an important and often most overlooked element of our healing. We need to address the emotions if we are looking to heal our body. Okay, I'm sorry, it's another tangent, it's a little detour, but I have to take the time to share them because it's never just about the food. There's always something underneath of it. When you can get to the root of it, it's so freeing and it makes your relationship with food and the protocol so much easier. I will get off my soapbox now, I promise. Let's get back to the acai bowl. If you've never tried one, I highly recommend it. My favorite is on the, where else but the Ocean City Boardwalk. A lot of my summertime treats are associated with that boardwalk. If you are in New Jersey, it's definitely worth trying out, whether you go to Bashful Bananas or I think it's Bungalow Bowls. Like there's just so many different options there. But you can get acai bowls in a lot of places. A lot of like traditional like smoothie places will have them. You can get them with berries, bananas, granola. Just make sure that the granola is gluten-free if you get that on there. But they have lots of options. It's definitely worth a try. Okay, my friends, there it is. The top 7 dairy-free alternatives to ice cream. You have coconut milk ice cream, that nice cream, which is banana-based, the avocado ice cream, chia seed pudding pops, frozen fruit bars, fruit sorbet, and acai bowls. I know this list is not comprehensive. There are so many more options. What did I leave out? Tell me. Send me a DM, send me an email. You know I love hearing from you. So let me know either what your favorite is on this list or what I left off this list. And of course, if you enjoy any of these during the summer, tag me so that I can see your summertime treats too. Take care. Well, my friend, we've reached the end of this episode. Pick one lesson from today's discussion and put it into action now. It's time to reclaim your body, mind, and life from multiple sclerosis. And for more resources, events, and programs, head over to alenebrennan.com. See you on the next episode of my MS podcast.